but you've been having some dust-ups with fellow Democrats, particularly those who are not satisfied with the COVID-19 relief, including Bernie Sanders, who said it should be a lot more. I'm just wondering if you were hinting of having had it with some of the more progressive members of the party, and that they don't know, I think you said something, they don't know how to make deals.
Listen, I'm really proud of the fact that a bipartisan group of senators got sick and tired of the political posturing from both parties that saw our country going into this economic tailspin. We saw unbelievable numbers of people in food lines, saw unemployment numbers going up, and we said, we're tired of the finger pointing, let's go out and do something. We compromised, the Democrats a lot, the Republicans compromised a lot. We came up with a $908 billion package.
Senator Sanders is saying you over-compromised, Senator, that the view of the extreme left in your party is that you caved. Do you think you caved? The Bernie Sanders and others who say that.
What I'm saying is I'm not going to be the Grinch that stole Christmas and say to people who lose their unemployment the day after Christmas, so long, farewell, or the folks who are going to get kicked out of their apartment on January 2nd, we're not going to do something to actually pay the landlords back for their lost rent. I mean,
talking point.
Oh my God, this is like actually, I'm going to have a heart attack if I listen to this much longer.
We're going to have to go through it. We're not that much longer though. Okay.
Rent. I mean, there will be people on the extremes. This is one area I actually agree with Rand Paul in his previous comment. I would much rather, and our bipartisan proposal said, let's give this money targeted to those most in need, like the unemployed, rather than giving everyone a check, whether they've had any economic loss or not. Now, that's not going to, at the end of the day, prevent me, because compromises are about, you don't get the whole thing. The fact that you have Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, together on this checks for everybody idea, I don't think that's a smart way, but I'm not going to stamp my feet and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to ignore all the pain and economic harm that's out there and do nothing. So I hope we get this bipartisan bill. I hope it gets voted.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to throw a tantrum and say Bernie and Trump want the same thing. So obviously that's a bad sign.
This is a drill tweet masquerading as a political analysis. I'm sorry. There's no difference between good things and bad things. Well, if Trump is, I can't believe
TPP. It's a TPP thing where they're both anti-TPP, which means that obviously they're both bad, right?
Yeah,
drill tweet.
and TPP is good.
On top of that, he wanted to bail out landlords, and also memes testing is the worst way to. I mean,
yeah,
I hate him.
We need to bail out the landlords who will speak for the landlords thing, and also there are places and times where you should be agreeing with Rand Paul. Often it's because it's in the realm of foreign policy. It's not anywhere but foreign policy. Maybe sex work. And no, but I mean, he's right, isn't he? Whatever. He's not good on economics.
It's on the age of consent.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. But in general, I mean, I think he leans decarceral on that image, I would say.
Wait, Rand Paul?
Yeah.
I don't think. Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a libertarian.
Oh, I didn't hear him. I guess I'm looking at, he did oppose Sister Falls.
There you go. Rand Paul.
Strange.
Anyway, that's a ridiculous thing. And also, he looks like a Grinch. And also, I'm going to tell you guys something. I know Mark Warner very well. Not really. I mentioned this on Useful Idiots. I did some stand-up at a Netroots Nation thing. And I introduced him. And I brought him onto the stage. And we passed each other. And we did like a weird kiss on the cheek thing, which was kind of... Yeah, I know. And I told Matt Taibbi, he was like, were there sparks? I was like, no, he's the only, and this is true, he's the only person he's capable of looking like a platypus and not being at all adorable, which is true. And he had at this Netroots Nation party, he sponsored a party. He threw a party, and there was a chocolate fondue fountain, which I definitely partook in because I'm a big fan of that. But it was a bit obscene. So we heard from Mark Chocolate Fountain Warner. So here's Amo Bernie responding.
Forces on the Hill say negotiations are basically done. Now lawmakers are crossing T's and dotting I's, making sure the $900 billion in aid does what it is intended to do. But were the compromises worth it? Joining me now is Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator Sanders, thank you so much for being here. I had Mark Warner on my show yesterday. I know Hallie had him on her show
Why?
today. He said the same thing. I want to play you one of those bites.
We have in our unemployment the bipartisan plan. 16
You see what I mean about platypus? Uncued platypus?
For people who
Yes.
were firing from their unemployment the day after Christmas. It included the 16 weeks for the gig workers, independent contractors, and it included a full 16 weeks of a $300 a week plus up. We thought that was very important to get those people most in need. I think because the president and even some folks that call themselves progressives wanted stimulus checks more important than that assistance. You had to take it out of some pot, and I'm afraid that the relief for the unemployed may be a shorter period of time.
Wait, I'm sorry. Mark Warner is now the arbiter of progressivism? Like, make a better argument. Say that he's like obstructive, what is it? Like, perfect is the enemy of the good. But you're honestly going to question like Sanders' progressive bona fides? No, I won't make an anti-fetus joke, but this guy's like super conservative.
He was one of the, do you remember last year when Bernie got like about 6 Republican senators to vote against the Yemen war?
Yeah.
Mark Warner was one of the Democrats who voted for the Yemen war so that Bernie's measure wouldn't, yeah.
Oh, so he's like really bad. He's not just like sketchy, like, he's pro child starvation.
He's Hyde Camp bad.
Yeah. All right. Ugh, fucking, he is a stain on platypi all over.
Stimulus checks more important than that assistance. You had to take it out of some.
Doesn't he look like what's that? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What's that movie?
Dick Van Dyke is in it.
Yes. He kind of looks like the bad character. Is played by Dick Van Dyke or by Burgess Meredith or something?
I think I found a picture of the guy. If you want to add that to the screen at some point.
There he is. Yeah,
Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah. Doesn't Mark Warner have strong whatever energy?
Yeah.
Apparently, he's called the Child Catcher.
The child.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
Strong child catcher energy.
He has strong child catcher, child starver energy.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let me just do a.
It's a good idea to take money from unemployment insurance. I mean,
Look at Bernie.
money to people who
Look
need
at
it
poor
most.
Bernie. I love him. And look at his eyes when she says that. He's such a. All right. He's a crotchety mensch. He doesn't take any bullshit mensch, okay?
It's a good idea
Look at his eyes.
to take money from unemployment insurance. I mean, when you're trying to get money to people who need it most.
For the third
time. No. You can't. No, don't ask. You can't play the like woman victim of the crotchety guy yelling on top of you when the premise of your question is pure steaming bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a Katy, so I can call Katy Tur out on that.
Oh, that's her. Yes. Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
You want to respond? Okay,
For the third
I'll say it.
time.
I'm gonna repeat the talking point, okay? And I may even have a graphic of it.
Not taking
When you were
money.
trying to get people, I'll let you go. Go.
No. I'm sorry. By the way, I haven't seen this before. I didn't prepare this, and everyone chime in. But this is infuriating.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right?
It's annoying. It's annoying as hell.
It's gaslighting.
Is it a good idea to take money from unemployment insurance? I mean, when you're
For
trying
the
to get money to
third
people who need it most.
For the
and I'm
third
just-
time.
Hold on.
I'm just trying to repeat a right-wing talking point and present it as a logical, fact-based premise. But I'll let you go. Poor Bernie.
Go ahead.
You want to respond?
We're not taking money out of unemployment. There is more than enough money, even within the 900 billion, to do 16 weeks of extended unemployment plus the 150 billion for direct payments. It is not, in my judgment, coming from unemployment.
I think
Let me ask you about Senator
basic
Josh
currency
Hawley.
literacy is necessary.
I know.
U.S. government can always go print, and
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not making this
They're
up.
deficit hawks.
There are clips of like Ben Bernanke and Alan, what's his
Dershowitz.
Greenspan saying it. No,
Oh my
Alan
God, I can't
Greenspan.
believe I just said that. Leslie, you got to cancel me.
Yeah.
You're saying they all of you are like
I know, yeah.
mixed
The U.S.
up.
government has infinite money and it can never run out of money and it'll keep printing. And please avoid.
Yeah.
Please just like you should like
Federal Reserve go burr, basically.
exactly.
Yeah. What the hell? Okay, poor Bernie. All right, let's keep going.
Stupid idiot.
Not Bernie. Obviously.
No, the woman who thinks that the
Katy
U.S.
Tur.
government is not
Katy Tur.
monetarily sovereign.
It's not, to be fair, it's not, she doesn't think that. She gets the talking points, the same ones that Stephanie Ruhle gets, and they break them down into, yeah. But it's infuriating.
Let me ask you about Senator Josh Hawley. You worked with him to get this money back into this bill. Do you see there being an alliance?
Okay, one talking point. You are taking money away from the unemployment. Okay, that's one talking point.
U.S. government, you can't do that.
Yeah. It's a deficit trolling, deficit hawking, zero-sum game premise that's not based in reality, right? It's a total ideological canard, right?
Yeah, it's BS. It was also came from Hayek, who was probably a Nazi sympathizer. So
not Salma Hayek.
No, that
one.
other Hayek, the economist Hayek.
Friedrich. How do you pronounce it? Yeah.
Hedrick? Hedrick? Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
And the Angry Inch. Okay, and then we also have you're working with a Republican. Okay, so watch this. Remember, Bernie Sanders, he's
It's
too
alienating.
far left. He's too far left. He's too extremist. He can't work across the aisle. / he works across the aisle too much.
There going forward. Do you plan on working with him in the future?
Well, look,
Meanwhile, Biden waxes poetic about segregationists.
Yeah.
I've never seen him asked about this.
But
by anyone but Kamala Harris. By Kamala Harris, yeah.
But they were Democrats.
That's true. Party unity.
You worked with him to get this money back into this bill. Do you see there being an alliance there going forward? Do you plan on working with him in the future?
Well, look, I have throughout my political life worked with anybody when we shared a common purpose. I've worked with very conservative Republicans on civil liberties issues. I work with Senator Mike Lee, very conservative Republican,
on Yemen,
to get the U.S. out of the war in Yemen. And I'm delighted to work with Senator Hawley now in making sure that working families get the financial assistance that they need. So I'm
you absolute frauds.
Did they put this in?
Wait, see,
yeah.
So y'all are reacting to this like, wow, they're trying to smear Bernie by tying him to Hawley. I see this and like, wow, this is a promo for Hawley.
Hawley rehab.
This is MS. Look at the slideshow. Look at the slideshow, the loving slideshow that they put together of Josh Hawley. This is MSNBC promoting Hawley over Sanders. They don't want
porn.
They would rather a Republican get credit for getting the money back in the bill than Bernie Sanders get credit for putting money back in the bill. If you watch this clip, you would come around thinking, wow, who's that handsome young man from Missouri or Mississippi, some southern state? Yeah, he's just he's from one of them, but
Missouri.
But he's a super conservative, racist who like has a staffer that follows like socialists and stuff, so he can like repeat our talking points.
On top of it,
but I mean, yeah, good.
He's a dangerous one because he's gonna be like a Marie Le Pen type of what do you call it? Fascist, corporatist, whatever you want to call them. And so what the Democratic Party is not going to realize is they're going to have like somebody like Pete. And then when you have somebody who's less pro-austerity than Pete Buttigieg, then it's going to be the way you ring in the full-blown fascism.
Right.
Yes.
I also I want to give a shout out to Tim. I always forget his last name. Tim, the Jeb Bush guy, who's from Boulder, Colorado, talks like this and was talking about how great it was that Mayor Pete. Want to call out Mayor Pete for, people forget 10 years ago how hard it was for gay kids to have role models.
Tim Miller.
Yeah. How old was Mayor Pete 10 years ago? And what was his job at the time?
Was he in Somaliland or something?
Afghanistan. The idea that people knew who the fuck this guy was and that he was like an important representation person. Anyway, but all right, let's keep watching this.
I have throughout my political life worked with anybody when we shared a common purpose. I've worked with.
I'm watching this again to see if he looks handsome. You're right. He's not attractive, but he.
I work with Senator Mike Lee, very conservative Republican. to get the U.S. out of the war in Yemen.
These aren't the pictures you
And
picked
I'm
if you want to
delighted
embarrass him.
Senator
His
Yeah,
face
you're
just
right.
looks like that.
now,
Yeah.
making
He
sure
just
that
looks like a
working
dope.
families
Those aren't.
get the financial
Those are
assistance,
flattering photos of him.
Yeah.
that they need. So I'm prepared to work with anybody.
Look how swarthy
If
they
there
make
is
Bernie
common
look,
cause.
by the way.
Look at that. Just look at the comparison of those two pictures.
Yeah.
That choice between those two pictures. Who are you trying to make look good? Who are you trying to make look bad?
Yeah. They got, I mean, I appreciate that they are highlighting Bernie's olive tones as opposed to his red tones, right? That's a step in the right direction. Okay. I also do appreciate that Holly is like a 12th of his age, has more wrinkles in his forehead than Bernie.
On a given issue. Obviously, broadly speaking, politically, Senator Hawley and I probably disagree on everything. But when senators can come together around a particular issue, in this case, providing desperately needed assistance working families, I'll work with anybody on that.
I mean, it's also it should be an indictment for anyone who didn't have a corporate media lobotomy. It would be of how bad the Democrats are when you have to go there.
Yeah. And
Let's go back to unemployment real fast. So
She's so mad. She's so mad. She still has to talk to Bernie.
I'm just
Let's talk about employment real fast.
Yeah. Let's just go back to that other talking point that I don't totally follow or understand, but I'm just going to pivot back and forth between those two.
are you saying there will be 16 weeks of unemployment insurance? That what Mark Warner was saying yesterday isn't totally correct?
No,
What kind of question is that? Are you saying that isn't totally correct?
that's not what I'm saying. I think they may have, for whatever reason, decided to put substantial new money into the PPP program, the program for small business, and maybe taken money out of the unemployment fund. I think they're down to, I'm not quite sure about this, it probably changes every minute. I think they may be down to 11 and 12 weeks right now rather than 16. I certainly want to see.
I mean, why don't they just say, like, Bernie, how many times a week do you beat your wife?
Did they hate Bernie Sanders before they blamed him for ruining Hillary's chances or being a spoiler? Or,
TPP.
did it start with, what was that?
It started with TPP, and
Okay.
MSNBC is owned by Comcast.
Okay.
Well, also, do you remember, by the way, we got to look at this. I just want to give Obama a shout out and Jimmy Fallon a shout out for collaborating on a Slow Jam the News about TPP.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is it did fail. Like,
Yeah.
It did. TPP
Yeah.
was defeated. I remember.
Despite Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yeah, at the DNC, there were more TPP signs from people walking around the streets than there were Hillary Clinton signs in 2016. People were mad about TPP and did not want it to happen. And I think that really, hurt Hillary Clinton.
It's like the NAFTA. It was the NAFTA of 2016.
Yeah, it was the new NAFTA, and like they view NAFTA as a very destructive force in several of those states that Hillary Clinton needed to win, and well, it did not work out for them.
Right. Yeah.
16 weeks. But let me also say this. What President-elect Biden has made clear is that in his judgment, this bill is a down payment, that one of the very first things that his administration will do when they take office is to move aggressively to expand upon what we are doing right here. And that, I would hope, means extended unemployment. I would hope it would mean more direct payments to working families in this country. It would mean state and substantial help for state and local government, among many other things.
Senator Bernie Sanders.
I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna start doing a character that's just like MSNBC prep woman, where I just send the talking points over. That could be fun, right? I cut him into the videos.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
Remember Andy Dick did that video where he was playing Bush's speechwriter?
Yeah.